Hello, my name is Wendy Torres, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about BookCreator. BookCreator is one of the very rare tools that I have found that can be used with the littlest of kids in kindergarten up to higher ed. Plus, it's one of the very few Web 2.0 tools that I have found that actually ranks really high for accessibility. I did find a couple snags when it came to screen reader accessibility, so let's talk about them. So, BookCreator, the way it works is they have added what we call Read to Me feature. The Read to Me feature reads the content in your book, including any alt text you have for your images, and it reads it just like a screen reader would. They implemented that because they found that when the books were read with a screen reader would read the books perfectly, except it would skip pages. So if this is a book that I'm sharing with my students and they're using a screen reader, they would be missing certain pages because it would skip pages. I brought that up to BookCreator, and they actually told me they were aware of it, and that's why they introduced the Read to Me feature. Let's see how it works, and let's see if there's any issues with the screen reader. I'm going to go ahead and launch my screen reader on my computer. I use the NVDA screen reader, and let's see how it works when we do that. So give me a second to launch my screen reader. Again, I'm using the NVDA screen reader, the latest version of it.
Assessing the accessibility of address and search bar edit has autocomplete control plus L. Selected red.bookcreator.com/bzokov YTVXMRXG21QMKV3NKFTH1/CampFzo3PyTWEK8XZXYUG.
Okay, so what you just heard, that is the website link for this particular book. Now, if I am a fully blind student, the first thing I'm going to hear is the website link. That is extremely long, and it means nothing to me with all those extra letters. So perhaps BookCreator can consider shortening those web links when we share a book. What you're looking at right now is a book that I've created, and let's see what happens when I use my keyboard commands. If I am a fully blind student, and like I said, we know there are various levels of blindness, but for this experience, I'm doing it as someone who is fully blind, who cannot see, and has gotten this book from the instructor. How would they get the content? Most likely, they're going to be using keyboard commands on their keyboard to get around on the screen. Let's see what happens.
Assessing the accessibility of Web 2.0 tools by Wendy Torres. BookCreator document. Clickable Web 2.0 tools and accessibility. What to look for. Clickable skip to book content link. Skip to book content.
Okay, so the first thing you hear, it says it reads the title, and then it has that option to skip to book content. If I click on my enter button, what will happen is my screen reader will begin to start reading this book. Unless I've mentioned, it reads it beautifully, except it skips pages. That's going to be a problem if somebody clicks on that skip to book content because their screen reader is automatically going to start reading the content and they're going to miss pages of it because it skips it. So BookCreator, you might want to move where you put that skip to book content or really explain that the read to me feature is what you're using as your screen reader. I'm going to go ahead and go past the skip to book content and see what happens when I move my tab button.
Banner landmark BookCreator link. Go to BookCreator website.
Okay, so what it's doing is, I don't know if you can see, there's a square right here
BookCreator.
by the icon. And so it's telling me that that's the icon for BookCreator. If I continue with my tab button,
Enter full screen mode button.
it's telling me that that next button is the full screen mode button. If I go to the next one, it should say something about sharing.
Share menu button.
Okay, good. If I go to the next one, it should say something about settings.
Settings menu button.
Okay, so if I am a fully blind student and I hear settings menu, I might want to know what's in that menu. If I click on my enter button, I should be able to navigate everything on that drop-down menu. Let's see.
Menu.
Okay, it tells me it's a menu. I'm going to push my tab button to go to the next item on the menu.
Menu side by side pages checkbox checked.
Okay, so that's telling me that that's a checkbox, so I can check it or uncheck it. If I push my enter button, it should turn it off.
Not checked.
Good. I'm going to go to the next item.
Highlight words checkbox checked.
Now you notice it skipped right over the voice option. That's not even an option for me to select. So that's a problem. If I want to change the way it's read to me, I don't have that option with that. Let's see what the next item says.
Play multimedia checkbox checked. Turn pages automatically checkbox checked.
I'm going to turn that off.
Not checked.
And let's see what the next one says.
Button.
Uh-oh, this just says button. If I am a fully blind student, I have no idea what button does. I have no idea that it changes the speed of the reading of the book. There's no way that I would know that. Plus, when I get to that point of the speed, I can't get out of this menu. Watch, I'll try to go to other places on the book and watch how it sounds on the screen reader.
Button. Button. Read to me button.
Okay, so I had to skip twice to get to the read to me button. Remember, I don't know what button is, and I had to skip twice just to get to the read to me option. Let's see what happens now when I click on the read to me option.
Web 2.0 Tools and Accessibility, What to Look For. By Wendy Torres. Twitter handle @tech_snacks.
So I've just pressed my enter button. So with my enter button, it stops the reading. Now, let's say I am a student who is blind and I want to go to the next page, and I have selected to not have it automatically go to the next page. Well, logically, then that would mean I would have to click on my arrow buttons to go to the next page. Let's see what happens.
E. A. D. Space. T. O.
Hmm, this becomes a problem. So right now I am touching my arrow buttons on my keyboard, but it is not advancing to the next page because the screen reader is having an issue with that. So that is something that needs to be corrected. Let me show you how it's supposed to work. I'm going to turn the screen reader off, and then I'm going to press my arrow key on my keyboard, and that should take me to the next page. So I'm going to turn off the screen reader.
Desktop. No. Google Chrome.
Okay, I've exited my screen reader, and now let's see what happens when I use my arrow key to get to the next page. Oh, look at that. I can get to the next page back and forth using my arrow keys. That's what's supposed to happen. However, as you just saw, when I'm using a screen reader, it actually does not allow me to do that. I can't go back and forth on my slides. So if I'm a blind student who has decided I want to have it read at my pace and I want to go page by page, maybe I want to go back a page, I can't do that. My screen reader will start jumping and just tell me letters, and at that point, I can't read it. So the read to me feature works great, but that's only if it's going to read the entire book to me. If I want to go page by page, I can't do that because it's interfering with my screen reader. That's an issue that needs to be resolved. So now I'm back in my book, and this is the page right before the last page of the book. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on the read to me feature. And I'm going to have it read the last part of the book so you can see what happens if somebody who is blind is using the Read to Me feature as a screen reader, what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the Read to Me feature. I'm going to click on Read to Me.
Creative Commons license. The licensor cannot revoke these freedoms as long as you follow the license terms. Under the following terms: attribution, you must give appropriate credit, provide a link to the license, and indicate if changes were made.
Now I'm pausing it right there because the way you're here right now is the Read to Me feature, which as you hear sounds just like a screen reader. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to speed up the reading for this so you can see what happens when it gets to the very end of the page.
The licensor cannot revoke these freedoms as long as you follow the license terms. Under the following terms: attribution, you must give appropriate credit, provide a link to the license.
Okay, so what I did is I just went ahead and went to the next page by moving on my arrow key. But you see how it says you have reached the end of the book? The Read to Me feature does not tell me that I've gotten to the end of this book. Now, if I am fully blind and I am using that Read to Me feature to hear the content of this book, I have no way of knowing that the book is done. It just stops talking. And so, as somebody who might be blind hearing this, I might think there's something wrong with the software, and I might just be sitting there. That can cause some frustration. So Book Creator, you need to make sure that the Read to Me feature can read the thing that says you've reached to the end of the book, read again. I have to be able to know what's going on if I am fully blind. And that is how a screen reader reads Book Creator. So Book Creator, as I've said, you score very high for accessibility, but you need to tweak those minor things to make your product accessible, and usable by any student, including students who are blind. Thank you.